Amber again, interpretive naturalist for Lake Metroparks, and today we're at Pete's Pond Preserve. This is a 69-acre park that features a 14-acre pond and a 2-mile out and back hiking trail. It also works in cooperation with Wycliffe City High School, which you'll see is right behind us here on the border of the park, which is really nice for the students because they're able to use this space as an outdoor classroom and get out here to make their own investigations into nature, which is what we're doing here today. We came here today to do our own investigation and solve a mystery. What mystery, do you ask? Well, if you look around at some of these trees right behind me, especially this one right here, and you're a curious person like I am, you'll notice that the bark is stripped off of some of these trees. But why is the bark missing? Who did it? What happened here? And why is it only some of the trees? Well, in my studies, I'm going to go ahead and guess that this was probably done by some sort of wildlife. But what animal could have done this to the trees? Maybe you can think of an animal that really likes bark or wood, or just likes rubbing up against trees. I have an idea. What about this guy right here? This buck. Bucks love using trees like this in late summer and early fall to rub their antlers against to get that soft tissue off of it. And they also use them to mark their territory and show a bit of dominance to their fellow deer so that they know that this territory is theirs. So this could have been done by a white-tailed deer, except, are deer really that tall? Could they have reached all the way to the top of this tree to get that bark off? I don't even think they could do that if they were standing on their hind legs. So I'm gonna go ahead and guess probably wasn't deer. But here's a photo of what an antler rubbing might look like. So let's think of something else that really likes wood and trees. I know, I said there was a pond here, so it's probably a beaver, right? Yeah, beavers, they love wood. They use these big teeth that they have to gnaw down trees and use them to build their lodges and dams, and they also feed on the bark and twigs. So it was probably a beaver. Except, look at his body. It's kind of wide and stout, and he's got really short legs and this long, flat tail. Doesn't exactly scream, I'm a good climber. So you know what? Probably wasn't beaver. And also, they're not very fast on land, and this tree right here is actually pretty far from the water source, which is down this hill. So if he came up on land, he'd probably stick close to the water for those trees, so he might need to make a quick getaway if a predator came around. It'd be a much shorter distance for him to travel. So I'm gonna guess probably not beavers. Who else? You know, I recently read about porcupines. Porcupines are really great climbers, and they love eating tree bark. I bet it was a porcupine. It's this guy right here, right? Well, no. You see, porcupines, while they were once very common in Ohio in the 1800s, in the late 1800s, 1890s, they actually became extirpated from Ohio as we started doing more developing and deforestation occurred. They're still very common in Pennsylvania, but they haven't been seen here in Ohio commonly for a while. In the past couple of years, there have been a few very rare sightings, but I don't think it was a porcupine. But they are really good climbers, and they probably could have gotten all the way to the top. But I bet there's another animal that is commonly found here in this park that we think could have done this. If you look up close here, underneath, you'll see some scratch marks here close to the tree. And you know what? Those make me think it was probably our favorite backyard friend, the fox squirrel. Well, we see those all over this park. Sometimes when there's not a whole lot of acorns, or in late winter when they're looking for extra nutrition, they'll peel back the thin layer of bark here to get to that inner layer so that they can feed on it. That's what all those little lines in there for. That's their teeth marks. And you know what else? I know it was a squirrel because they don't like the bark on the outside. They usually chip it off and leave it right here on the forest floor. So you can see all around this tree, there's bark laying here. So you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and guess that it's 99.999% certainty that this was probably a fox squirrel's doing. So the next time you're in one of our parks, why don't you take a look around and see if you can find signs of wildlife where you are. Thanks for joining us.